Ridley here. It is a beautiful day across these 50 United States and Puerto Rico. What is going on, good people? Larry Ridley here, SNY TV, little NBC Sports, little Madden NFL, little NFL, little NBA 2K as well. This is esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show, talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming here. September the 3rd, 2020 here. esportsXTRA will take your phone calls, 877-853-5247. A meeting ID, esportsXTRA, 377-678-9872. Go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that pound button twice to join the show. Still got a gaggle. Well, we can call it a gaggle, right? It's four of us.
Yeah.
Four of us. Yeah. We got the crew together. We'll start down south. The furthest one away from me, probably. No, actually, probably be. Yeah, that's a tough one. You guys are all equal distance. Yeah, you think Dallas is? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because of
Yeah, a little over to the west, a little southwest. Because Palm Beach straight shot. Yeah. Houston, a little southwest. Dallas, North Texas. Hey, Willie, we're gonna give it to you, Boss Smith. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's good? That's good. Yeah. Lots of stuff to talk about. Looking forward to it. And always happy that I'm in the presence of greatness. So let's get it.
That means we're in your presence, my friend. Look at this dude. We got a Chargers story today, since he's got the old powder blue, Superchargers
fire.
That is, it is the best jersey probably in the NFL, maybe in all of sports. Love that. The powder blues. What's up with you, Derwin? Got that baby face still swimming? No, you breaststroking today. You've been backstroking
today.
You breaststroking because we got an Olympian on the show. She knows about the summer games. You breaststroking now.
And I'm sad that we missed the summer games this year. Hopefully, it'll be back next year. And we are a week away from Thursday night football, Kansas City and Houston. I can't wait.
Very good point. That is 1 week from today, September the 10th, at Arrowhead. Probably 16,000 fans there at Arrowhead. What is going on? She is the queen of esportsXTRA, K-Dubs Brinkley, our Olympian. She flexed on us big time last night.
Yes.
And didn't apologize. And I wouldn't either.
Thanks.
Sorry, I am good. Sorry.
Gotta do what I can do when I can do it. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm happy to keep getting the call back.
All right, Marshawn, where are your Skittles at, then, girl?
Yeah.
Got some power.
I'm on a sugar fast. Okay,
I will never go on a sugar fast. That ain't happening in my household. So good stuff, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. We're talking NBA. Got a lot of stuff to get into. A lot of NFL as well. Steve Nash, Heat, Bucks, OKC, Houston. We'll get into all of that. Leonard Fournette. We'll talk about where he's going. Staying in the state of Florida, by the way. Raymond James Stadium. What they're going to do with the Bucks and that huge home opener against, I believe it's the Saints, right? The Bucks open up against the Saints there. Brady against Drew Brees. We'll talk about that. Dwayne Haskins has been named the starter for the Washington football team. We're not going with the R word today. You're not getting no money from me today. Derwin James, speaking of the powder blue jerseys, we'll talk about him. Blow to those Chargers out there in Los Angeles. Cam Newton, Derwin, got some good news today. I don't hear you back there chirping today, do you, huh? You hear what Belichick got to say about Cam Newton? Huh?
He's been saying a lot about. He's been pumping him up. He's trying to give him therapy right now. That's what that's all about. He's pumping this guy's head up. Come on, man.
I can't with this.
He's
dude,
coaching.
Man.
That's coach speak. You've been in the game long enough.
Cut his mic. There he goes.
Yeah.
He's already on one. He just will not throw roses to Cam or Cap. Maybe it's the C's and the it's the Cam and the Caps. What the hell's going on here, Daryl? Why you hating like that, man?
I mean, even if I threw it to him, he'd probably drop it anyway.
Oh, my
it,
goodness.
and then he wouldn't even pick it up.
Oh,
He
boy.
just let it lay there.
Well, didn't Gucci Mane and the Migos in the song "Get the Bag"? Then he say you fumble it, I flip it and tumble it, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, Kelly knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll keep it with the Patriots. Mohamed Sanu gave up a second-round pick. He's no longer with the team. We'll talk about that. Belichick in a commercial. We mentioned this last month when they were filming it in Connecticut. A local sportscaster had his daughter filming it while he was on location there. We showed the pictures and the video there. Now the uncut, well, it is the edited version, not uncut. It's the edited version, 30 seconds. We'll show it to you in its entirety. We'll actually loop it for you folks at home as well. You can get a check on that. Dr. Disrespect making some news, finally speaking out about the Twitch ban. Probably the largest or the biggest streamer in all of Twitch. I feel him on this, but I'm going to treat him just like the NFL athletes. These guys want to be in the big time, right? They want to be on TV. They want to be just like athletes. They're structuring these leagues after sports leagues. Well, we're going to treat him like an athlete. I'm going to say, cry me a river, baby. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about you crying a river. So we'll talk about that. And then to compete forever on Black News Channel this weekend, episode 14. We love you, Black News Channel, especially after that email today. We really love you. Thank you very much for hooking us up today. Let's go ahead and get started. Steve Nash, head coach, now, I believe 23rd in the history of the franchise, Hall of Famer, two-time MVP. Worked out with the Golden State Warriors, was out there in the player development office as well. Formed a great relationship with Kevin Durant. 4-year deal here in BK. As I'll say tonight on SNY TV, where Brooklyn at? Well, right now they look pretty damn good. Got a great cast, a great roster. Sean Marks and the guys in the front office doing a great job. Hey, Willie, Eastern Conference Finals or bust, bare minimum next year. Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong?
Yes. You're not wrong at all. I mean, this team is coming in with major expectations when you watch them and seeing what they're accumulating, and what they have is, you have a good group of veterans, of course, with KD, led by KD and Kyrie, et cetera. But you also have young guys as well with Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. Also, you want to really have that balance. And oftentimes when we see teams and Spencer Dinwiddie, when we see teams that are building toward this, they're either really young and you're saying, man, they'll be good in the future, or they have these established veterans and you're looking at them and you're saying, man, you're only going to have a couple of years before you sort of age out. Well, this team is sort of the way that they straddled this thing. They've done a really good job of planning it out. And so then when you bring in Nash, and there's lots of things to sort of unpack and think about when you have him as a coach, right? And yes, there's a school of thought, and rightfully so, that, man, what happened? Where does his experience say that he should get this opportunity?
I was just about to say, I was going to ask Durbin about that, but go ahead. Black coaches, once again, on the back burner. That is something we've been talking about ad nauseum, and with 4 black faces on this panel, we're going to continue that debate. I love Steve Nash, but once again, it's sort of a gut punch to our people, and the black coaches out there that are very qualified for this. Mark Jackson, we even showed a picture with him and, what's his name? The former guard played with the Nets, by the way. You know who I'm talking about? Guard, Jason Kidd, yes. So, I mean, there's a plethora of coaches out there that are qualified. Mike Woodson, a bunch of coaches out there. This is tough. Go ahead, Avery.
No, so when you're looking at it that way, it's not necessarily about being able to go from being a player or going from the broadcast booth and going right into coaching. It's not necessarily about that. It's about making that transition and the roster that you're going to, right? That's where the difference lies, because even when you say Mark Jackson, well, he did that, went from the broadcast booth and then went and became a head coach. Well, Golden State wasn't Golden State, right? So that was a different team, but this is an established team ready to go win a championship. Jason Kidd didn't have this opportunity. When Derek Fisher went to the Knicks, they weren't a championship caliber roster. So right. So you look at it from that standpoint, it's like, well, here we go again with the same deal. And it's similar to when Cliff Kingsbury kind of when he got the job in Arizona for the Cardinals. It's not even about if it will work or not. It's what in his jacket says that not only does he get the opportunity to leave college when he was a 500 coach, go to the NFL, but then you also get the cachet of a Bill Belichick where you're handpicking players. Handpicking Kyler Murray. So that says a lot when when you're a 500 coach. So Steve Nash is walking into a microwave situation, ready-made situation where they're ready to be competitive immediately. And on the other side, I'll say this. In this era where we're talking about social injustice, we're talking about making changes, we're talking about having more opportunity, having more seats at the table, et cetera. When we're talking about this, the other thing we have to look at as well is we have to put a little bit of onus on the players also, because Kevin Durant and Kyrie had to co-sign this, right?
Good point.
So with that being said, if you're co-signing this and you're talking about changes and things of that nature, co-sign a brother, right? So and when I see it that way, and when I look at it that way, that was one of the first things I thought. And then the other thing I'll say,
real quick,
for Nash, I think if you look at New Jersey, I call them New Jersey. You look at Brooklyn, right? They're probably going to need some creativity when you start thinking about Spencer Dinwiddie, when you start thinking about Karis LeVert, and then KD and Kyrie. So they're going to need some creativity. And Nash played in those 8 seconds or less when he was in Phoenix and things of that nature. So they're going to need some of that creativity, some of the same things they did in Golden State in terms of sharing the ball and that ingenuity to make sure all of those star players feel like they are a part of the process. So in that respect, I think he can help them a lot.
Yeah. D-Dubs, your thoughts here. Steve Nash coming to BK and the relationship. He talked about a co-signing. Yeah, KD absolutely co-signed on this, and so did Kyrie as well.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I know we don't have a lot of time.
You got 30 seconds for a minute. Articulate. Do the best you can.
Man, we talked about this stuff the last 2 months about Popovich coming here, and I remember you,
Popovich
OG,
put his house
on
sale in the San Antonio.
Antonio
market.
talked about. I said, well, why not Jacques Vaughn? Why can't he have this opportunity?
Because who was making the most in the NBA right now?
Who was Tyronn Lue before he became a championship Tyronn Lue? Why can't Jacques Vaughn get?
He was Doc Rivers guy. Yep.
Yeah. Why can't he get the same opportunity? Steve Nash, and everybody loves him. He's done great things. He's helped blacks all through his career. He's done some good stuff, but
Canadian, so he doesn't have the American roots. That's why he's not a racist.
Yeah, but you have Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd has New York ties.
He's a good nut.
Mark Jackson has New York ties. You could have went that one. You could have gone Tyronn Lue. He has no experience. So you went with a guy with no experience, even though he's beloved in the NBA. Which he might have a great Hall of Fame coaching career, but I'm just saying, and I like him, but I'm just saying, why not give it to someone who has experience like Jacques Vaughn? You guys told me you couldn't give the keys to the Lamborghini.
Time out,
we did.
You did. No, I did not. No, I did not. Don't put words in my mouth, brother. What I said was, the question was, do I think Greg Popovich having interest in that job is real? I said, yes, it is real. I did not say that Jacques Vaughn shouldn't get that job. Don't put words in my mouth, brother. I can speak for myself.
Okay. But you were co-signing. You did not.
No, I did not. I did not. I said, I hope Jacques Vaughn gets the job.
Hey, 20 seconds time out. Kelly, get in here before they start fighting.
Don't put words in my mouth, brother.
Wow. Well,
20 seconds to yo. 20 seconds to yo.
Everybody's cool off. No, but I really like Steve Nash. Like, I loved his playing style, but I was very, very disappointed that with all the initiatives that the league is running, that this was like their opportunity to be like, okay, let's let us level things out. Let us give a brother, their just due. And we're not asking for a handout. You're asking for someone who deserves the job to get a job. So I was a little disappointed in that, but I do think that, it is going to bring some ingenuity to the team because it is definitely going to be needed. So maybe it'll be a different look, a fresh set of eyes, someone with a different perspective, because Nash also had a different playing style. So maybe he can bring some of that ingenuity to the team that is already on the cusp. But it is disappointing to see a team that is a championship style team having someone that has no experience inherited, when I can think of a handful of my Kings that could, elevate that team to where I know they can be.
Got a lot of people in the chat today. Maybe it's the Madden 21 stuff, guys. We're gonna get to that at the end of the day. You have to stick around. You have to earn it today. We're just gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it away around 7 o'clock. Thanks to all chiming in. We appreciate it. Real quickly, I will. I guess I'll have to be the partial or the impartial referee here. A. Willie and myself, we did preface it by saying, when you look at someone like Greg Popovich, if you get someone that's got championship caliber coaching pedigree or resume, I know Jacques Vaughn. I've seen him. He's coached teams. We only had one crack at it, but he was there in Orlando with all the mess. They had a young team, weren't going very far. but he can build teams. They just had that in Kenny Atkinson. That's why I said get someone that's more established. But you're right, Durbin. Ultimately, without taking a shot at A. Willie, they didn't get that. I know you were. I'm sorry.
Man, no,
I'm
it's
stirring
not
the pot
like,
now.
no,
I know.
yeah, it's not.
It's all love. You
Yeah.
got to throw it out there. But I will say this. You're right, though, ultimately, Durham, which is I was caught off guard by this. No one was reporting this. No one saw this coming. But you're right. Love Steve Nash. Great mind. He does not have a resume. Point blank, he doesn't. No one can tell me that. Does he have the qualifications to be a head coach? I would say possibly, yeah, I do. But there's like probably 20 brothers that I can name that have the same sort of resume as well. And that's the bottom line on that. So we'll keep it moving. Good stuff with there. Heat Bucks. Game 2 last night. Crazy last 19 seconds. They were down by what, like 6? With 19 seconds left. Ended up tying up the game. And then what we saw, A. Willie, the same damn thing we always see. A bad call, which is then followed up by another bad call. We're showing the highlights now. You knew once Scott Foster made that first call, and why is he still refereeing games? I have no idea. And then Steve Javie, he co-signs on everything that the referees do. Look, were they fouls? Technically, yes, they both were. I believe so. Technically, in the last 20 seconds, I ain't calling that. Now, there's a lot of people that says you got to call it all the way. There's merit to that, but not an NBA playoff game. I ain't doing it. Go ahead, A. Willie.
No, and to your point, LL, it depends on how the game is being called within the flow of the game, right? You don't take the game and you call it one way throughout the game, and then in the last 2 minutes you start changing how you call it because the players will adjust, right? So if you're going to call it tight the entire game. So what that was one of the things that really stood out to me, and again, watching that game also too. The other thing is, if you look at the numbers, if you just looked at, this is where I know we always say men lie, women lie, but numbers don't.
Numbers don't.
It's funny. If you look at Milwaukee's numbers in terms of those ancillary players, those guys actually had good games if you look at their numbers. But when you deep dive and you start looking at 3-point shooting, then you see that the Bucks shot 7 for 28. Even though those guys hit those numbers, did they really play well? And when you have a player like Giannis who that lane has to be open for him to be his most effective, they have to really make threes, especially against Miami, because as we say, styles make fights, right? And Miami has a slew of guys that they can throw at Giannis from a defensive standpoint that he can't buffalo.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
This is a bad matchup for them.
It's a bad matchup for them.
They saw Heat, Bucks second round conference semis, I know they were like, oh man, really? Because they're going to extract their pound of flesh. I thought the Bucks would win this thing in 6 or 7, and they still might, but the Heat have already proven this thing's probably going bare minimum 6 and likely 7. So and then that it is what it is. Kels, your thoughts here. How much trouble are the Bucks in right now? Down 2-0.
I don't think that I can say that they're in trouble because, we've seen teams fight back before. And I think the bubble has brought out different emotions in players. It has brought out some scrap of some people that, we may not have thought have been scrappy. Now, I'm not calling them to win a championship or anything like that, but I don't think that you can necessarily count anyone out. Now, from what I saw last night, like the shooting is terrible. The refs, I need them to help us out here. Like, help us as viewers out. Yeah, like I hate calls at the end of the game. Like, let them play. I'm not huge on so many calls during the game. It messes up the flow of the game. Like, let them play. If you're gonna flop, let them flop. Like, let them play. Let these people play because it messes up the flow of the game from a viewer standpoint and the player standpoint. When a team's on a run, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, D-Dubs, your thoughts here. Down 2-0, and Milwaukee. I'm with A. Willie. They really haven't played bad. No, Giannis had a subpar game in Game 1, but the ancillary pieces they've been showing up. Yeah, maybe Miami's just a better team. Dare I say that?
Jimmy Butler didn't have a great game last
night. No, he
didn't. Other guys stepped up.
That's a game Milwaukee has to win last night. You look at the stats. Yeah. Milwaukee has to say, "Oh, that's a win," and it wasn't.
They almost stole it when Jimmy Butler threw that ball underneath his basket.
Yeah, last 19 seconds.
Yeah, and then the one foul they called him a 3-point shot. The guy looked like he had his hands straight up, and then Giannis touches Butler. Looked like after the ball is like 5 feet gone, and he like put his hand on his waistline. I'm like, that's a foul? Really?
Well,
Yeah.
you look at it in slow motion. He did give a little shiver almost, man.
But the ball had been
Soft.
big left his hand.
But it's about.
Soft.
But it is. But it's like the first foul of Middleton. He went up. And then he sort of leaned in. He's got nowhere to land. So, hey, come on, educate them.
I'll say this to D's point. I think is Giannis is as being a back-to-back MVP because he's going to win MVP again, in my estimation. As back-to-back MVP, what he's probably used to is not having those fouls called on him, and they call one on him, whereas a normal guy makes that type of play, they're going to make it. They're going to call that foul on them probably,
Sure.
Especially if you're guarding Jimmy Butler, but who is a star in his own right. But Giannis being back-to-back MVPs, sure, was it an egregious foul? No. But at the same time, I'm sure Giannis is probably not even used to having those fouls called on him, right? And now here it is in this moment it gets called. So it's.
It is what it is. We'll keep it going.
Yeah.
But hey, a good series so far. Game 4 will be likely Saturday. Game 3 will be Saturday. We got Celtics and Raptors game 3 tonight. Actually, about to start right now. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that another time. We'll take your live phone calls, 877-853-5247. Meeting ID, esportsXTRA. That's 377-678-9872. If you want to join the show, hit the pound button twice to join the show. We will do the Madden giveaway. Madden 21, I'm giving away a code tonight. First person that calls in, when I call for it, we'll probably take the first or second caller. We'll give you the directions right at 7 o'clock as I head on out of here. OKC, Houston game 7. Yeah, stuck it up. Wasn't the greatest of games. Another finish that I guess needs an asterisk next to it. But hey, we were right. We had Nuggets in 7. We both were on the Rockets. Oh, you weren't on the Rockets.
No, I said OKC was going to win that one. Yeah, and they should have won it. And they should have won it.
Shoulda, coulda,
woulda. They played well enough to win. They played well enough.
Yeah, they should have won it.
Hey,
well,
you're wearing their colors, hey, Willie, right now, basically.
The Rockets? I got a little blue in there for OKC, too.
Oh, okay.
They should have won. So
well, they didn't.
They should have.
But if you're gonna keep living your life that way about I should have, then brother didn't win a damn thing.
No, but watching them play, it was one of the things that I was really looking at when I was watching them play is if you don't know Steven Adams and his game intimately, you would think that he's just a guy that's out there rebounding and playing defense. But when you watch this dude work out, this dude is actually very skilled, and it never manifests itself on the floor. And it's one of the things where you see guys and they're working out, and we see this now, especially in this culture and Instagram and things like that. You'll have people that are working kids out, and it's like, man, you're working this kid out, but none of this stuff is game relevant. This is awesome, but it's not game relevant. So you can get really deceived by watching people work out. Man, this dude is actually very skilled, and it's amazing for me when I watch him, and he's just a non-factor. And so when you watch them play, they don't get any paint points unless those guards create them. They don't get any of them in the paint, because even when he gets an offensive rebound, he often looks to kick it out. So in that last, when you're looking at them in that last sort of stretch there, when they're trying to inbound the ball, he's not even a threat. And it really hurts them. And, one of the things when you look at teams and you're watching them from an offensive perspective, everybody likes that extra pass. But what that extra pass actually does is it makes you have to work harder for offense. And that came back to bite them, because they literally had a guy out there that they couldn't do anything with from an offensive perspective.
Yeah.
Really came back to get him.
Your boy Dort last night. How about he broke a record, right? Most points ever in a game 7 by an undrafted rookie. What do you have, like 30?
30 points.
D. Will, get in here. OKC Houston came down to the wire. We both were on the same side here. We took the Rockets. I think they're going to cause some problems for the Lakers. I think it can go maybe 6. I think ultimately they're going to be too small. But if you're the Lakers, you're scratching your head like, damn it, we could have had, Portland without Dame, a little beat up, and now OKC, just put us in the finals, pencil us in, probably in 9 games. But now they're probably going to have to work a little bit for this to get to the conference finals. Your thoughts, D-Dubs?
My thoughts on, OKC played well enough to win this game.
Sure.
I mean, both teams down the wire, but you got to talk about the play of James
Played good
Harden.
enough to lose it too.
Yeah, he did not have a good game. He told you what he thought of his game on live television.
Yeah.
But he made the play at the end of he won the game at the end of the day because that block. And when they replayed it, you see him guarding the center in the paint, and he waited until that ball was thrown, and he broke on that ball like a
Sprinted
DB.
out. He did.
He sprinted out.
He
gave it all up. He made sure he was off to the side when he was
Exactly.
going to flash by. He did it textbook because he wasn't going to wind up like Miami and Milwaukee and get called for a foul. And he got all ball, and he won the game. They could have lost the game. So that's a situation where it's not always about offense sometimes. Sometimes the right play, the right time, and they say defense wins championships.
And you can hear Dan Tony talking about that. We are going to have to stay in front of them and play some defense, and that's exactly what they did down the stretch. Kelly, you're in Houston. How excited are you, real quickly?
No, super excited. But it's the same thing that I said last night. Like, Harden just disappears, but then he magically appeared at the right moment. But year after year after year, we've just seen the same kind of thing from him, like this big play, during the season and then in the playoffs. Like, maybe he needs like a sports psychologist or somebody to like talk him through this, because I want more from him in the playoffs. Like, I think he had 16, 17 last night, which is like half of what he normally scores. Like, so if he would play normal, then we can't say that, oh, the team should have won, because the score would have been completely different. I'm super excited that he stepped up and got to stop at the right moment, but I need more from him, and we need more from him moving forward.
Yeah, I think from an offensive standpoint, you will need some more production, but that's playoff Harden. That's the playoff Rockets. They're going to have to win some ugly games. Look, Houston, you're not going to get 23s in a game. You're not going to have everything flowing and the step backs and all of this, free flowing offense that you typically get in a mundane game, routine game on a Tuesday in freaking Detroit or Milwaukee or Charlotte. This is the playoffs, so you're going to have to win some games like that. I thought it was a good sign they were able to win a game like that when Russ didn't really play up to his A+ game. Harden probably played a D game for him, maybe even an F game for him, and they still pulled it out. It's a good sign there. We'll take a phone call.
Covington was amazing.
He was.
Yeah, his last couple of games, he's been really good. He's been really good the last couple of games.
You think about it, that game is the difference between maybe D'Antoni being fired and maybe gets another year, because no one expects them right now to beat the Lakers. But that was a pivotal win for those guys like that right last night. We'll take your phone calls, 877-853-5247, meeting ID, esportsXTRA. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. Congratulations. Thanks, guys, for watching. All of you newbies out there, Slim Bucket Gucci, S. Cara, Snapperhead, K1 Player, Dude Killer, all you guys out there, Cal Goat Madden 21 fan, all you guys out there. Who are these guys? You guys with these names. Y'all need to get these names. Come up with something original. Come on, how about your real name, your government name? But no, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. We're here Tuesday through Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, typically at 7 p.m. Eastern. Today, we're doing a special show at 6 p.m. Eastern. We got about 20, 25 more minutes. Let's flow through this real quickly. Leonard Fournette staying in the state of Florida, going from the Jags to the Bucks. We called it. We said Patriots or Bucks would be a good fit. Also threw in maybe Seahawks in there as well. We'll start with you, Kelly. Couldn't have gone to a better place.
Yo, the Bucks are about to be a monster team. Like, it is. I think that fits very well. I am super excited. I lived in Florida for a long time, so I've always cheered for my Florida teams. I think it's a great move. He doesn't have to move far. Perfect. So I'm all for it. Two thumbs up.
Fournette, absolutely. Still a short money. They can probably work out a contract. Although Bruce Arians said their current running back is still the starter there. And then they got Shady, Ronald Jones, the Rojo. They still got Shady as well. So Brady's gonna have
a guy too.
But BA is always good with carrying a heavy roster. I've when he was in Arizona, I saw him carry a heavy roster, and he knows how to use big players and integral pieces so it works together. So I don't worry about that. Like, if it was another coach, it may be a concern, but BA, he's such a player's coach that I think that he'll be just fine with a bunch of heavy hitters all on one side.
D-Dubs, you like this, Leonard Fournette? 30 seconds or less?
Oh, definitely. I like the move. I always thought that, with Tom Brady, he's got the wide receivers, he's got 3 good tight ends. All they really need was a bona fide stud at tailback, because the 2 guys that they had the last couple of years are just guys. Now you bring in Fournette, who can be a battering ram for you. You can go 2 tight end sets and pound the rock. And the safeties can't come in the box. I mean, they can't crowd the line of scrimmage with Fournette, because you got 2 wide receivers that can get up the field. But right now, he's not going to start. It's going to take him a couple of weeks, because Ronald Jones is a starter. They got Shady McCoy probably for third downs. They drafted a running back last year as well in the second round. So it's going to take Fournette a couple of weeks to get the offense down. And what you don't want, you got to have a tailback that can pick up pass pro, because you don't want Tom Brady getting hit. So until Fournette knows that playbook and he knows where he's supposed to be and he can pass block, you're not going to see him out in the field early on.
But a hell of an option, A. Willie,
Yes.
3rd and 1.
For $2 million too?
Short yardage
Oh,
situations.
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, this,
That
I
vet
take him.
status.
That's more than a flyer. That's like, hey, you're on the team, you're on the roster, dude. You're going to get your carries. You're going to get your 10 to 12 carries a game.
Yeah, I think it's a good look for him because, and their team as well, because on that team, he doesn't have to be the guy that he was in Jacksonville last year. He doesn't have to do that. So he can be more effective in less dosage. So I look forward to seeing them. This is going to be really good to see. But yeah, they are loaded on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they go too deep at almost every skill, with the exception of quarterback. Like, they're too deep everywhere. So at least, it's going to be crazy to see.
Got great backs, great receivers, great tight ends as well. This is it's going to be a really good, fun team to watch in that NFC South.
Yeah.
Keep it with the Bucks, Raymond James Stadium. A policy now during this COVID-19 pandemic: no fans first 2 home games. Hopefully they'll get something by October, but at least the first month, no fans in the first 2 home games. Surprised by that, and once again, this is standard operating procedure, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken now, Kelly, that's 25 teams out of 32, no fans. So only 7 teams will have fans in the stadiums this year so far, as we get into the opener next week.
My axe to grind with the NFL has always been, we cannot get it together. And I say we because my husband played. Like, I feel like it is rogue life from team to team. I've enjoyed watching other, sporting, like the NHL, MLB, how they all function the same. NFL, they're like, we're gonna do what we want to do. I don't think that there should be fans in the stadiums right now, because there's so many unanswered questions about COVID. And then what happens if someone says they contracted COVID from a game, and then when people see sports teams, they're going to see a cash cow. So then that's stuff that people don't want to have to deal with in the first place. And I think we got to think public safety first, and then we can move on past that, progress slowly. So I am fine with no players or with no fans being in the stadium. Yes, it sucks for the players. We as athletes feed off of that feeling. We
Mhm.
love when the crowd is hype. When, the offense is on, and, the crowd is hype, and, the offense can't hear and can't run plays. Beautiful. But I don't think that that is an expense for human life.
Yeah, well, that's a good point there. D Dubs, A Willie, let you both you guys jump in on this. They're going to pipe in some noise for these teams, even teams with fans in there as well. But 25 teams with no fans at least the first week of the season. Your thoughts on there? Both you guys jump in here, 30 seconds apiece. Go.
Well, I know that Pete Carroll all off season, he's been dealing with piped in noise, preparing his players, because probably the first 4 games they might not have fans, and then week 5 they're going to have fans. So I think the league has some notion that if you do pipe in noise during practice, it has to be the same level all through practice. But kudos to Tampa Bay and that organization for coming out early and saying no fans, because that ticket's a hot ticket right now. Everybody wants to see Tom Brady. So for them to say week 2 and week 4, which is the Panthers and Chargers at home, there's going to be no fans allowed. That took a lot for them to do that, because they're losing money at the gate. So by week 6, that's the Packers game. That's Aaron Rodgers coming to town. So they're going to reevaluate after the first month. But right now, Tampa's a hot ticket. Everybody wants to see Tom Brady and what's he going to do with those weapons.
Good stuff right there. Good resources by you there, D Dubs. Hey, Willie, anything to add to this in about 30 seconds or less?
No, I'm good. That's actually what I was going to say as well. That this, with them being such a hot ticket, great minds, right, D?
Yeah.
So, that being a hot ticket, and for Tampa particularly, That probably is in an added sort of degree of it being a hot ticket, given the fact that team doesn't have a rich tradition, right? So they're like, this is the one time that everybody wants to see us, and now everybody can't see us. So I'm sure that there was some thoughts in when they were talking about this. Well, maybe we can do this anyway. Again, especially given the fact that they're in the state that they're in, where it's hot and people are doing whatever they want to do, especially from the colleges. Right. Yep. So for them to say that, no, we're actually going to not have fans for those first 2 home games, at least, I think is very smart. And I agree with everybody on the panel that there should be no fans, and that should be uniform.
I disagree. It's the National Football League. It's a man's game. Half the women and children.
What is being a man?
What's a man got to do with death?
I'm sorry.
And I feel very offended. Like, I'm a woman and I love football.
No, I didn't say you didn't love football. It's an expression to hide the women and children. Like, hey, it's a man's game. You can still be wrong.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
I can be wrong. No, I'm just from a competitive standpoint. It just doesn't bother me if somebody's got 8,000 fans and somebody else doesn't have any. That's not going to stop you. It'd be different if it's 80,000 and none. 8,000 fans at a football game. Trust me. If you go play at Michigan, Ohio State, University of Tennessee, at Seattle, I'm telling you now, if you told New England or any team or Carolina or Atlanta or Tampa, you're going to play the Saints in the Dome, they're only going to be 8,000 fans. They're like, all right, let's go. When do you want to go? Because it's a hell of a lot different than when they're playing Get Crunk and all that other stuff, and those fans are lathered up. So that's why I'm saying from a competitive standpoint, I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. But you're right. From a practical standpoint and a health standpoint, that's very important. I will say that. So that's 2 separate things. Now, when you lean on COVID and safety reasons, then that's a totally different thing. But a lot of people weren't saying. They were like, it's unfair. They've got 3,000 fans and we've got none. It's like, you let those 3,000 fans stop y'all, you were never going to win that game anyway. So we'll keep it going. 15 seconds left, guys. We're losing time here. Dwayne Haskins, starter with the Redskins. No surprise there. Alex Smith, I still think's a little bit away.
Washington football team.
Daggone it. You right.
Put the money in the jar, baby.
Daggone it. I ain't got no money on me. So
I said New Jersey.
Dwayne Haskins, starter of the Washington football team. Kelly is on me right now. She's absolutely right both times. Kelly.
I'm with it. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, so I am a Washington football team fan to my heart. I love Dwayne Haskins. I think that he is super talented. I'm glad that he's back, and I think that he can lead the team in the direction they need to go. And they've been in a rebuilding phase for
forever,
a long time,
decades.
So it's time, and I think that the starting, like how you rebuild a team is with your quarterback. So I hope he steps up in a leadership way inside the locker room, on the field. But I'm definitely with this one.
D-Dubs last year, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. Just vanilla last year.
Yeah.
It was tough coming in late at the season last year with that regime there. Over 1,000 yards. I think almost 2,000 yards. But yeah, it was like, But we'll see him this year. Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts? I think he should be the starter. I mean, Alex
definitely. I mean, there was nobody ready to take his spot right now. Alex Smith is not ready. And he's a young kid. You just want to see some promise from him, maturing on the field. He has a new coach who's going to, try to coach him up and just see what he does this year. I don't know about his weapons. It doesn't seem like he has a lot of weapons to throw the ball to. You gotta help the guys with guys around him. So, but
that's
hopefully
not what Washington does.
He'll take a leadership role, and hopefully, he can lead these guys and they can see some positives out of him this season.
He's probably got better weapons in the front office and the broadcast crew, all the new people they've brought in than they do on the field right now. Hey, Willie, real quickly, about 10 seconds. Haskins starter.
Yeah, to Dee's point about the leadership piece, he actually took that serious. He came back and much improved in terms of his conditioning. So that was a major step right there. But also, too, when you play that position, it is tough to play that position. And you are playing that leadership position. You're playing that position where you have to have all the moxie, and the coach that is coaching you does not want you. Right. So that's what he was dealing with last year. So that's hard. That's very hard. So it's a good start for him. He took his best foot. He put his best foot forward by coming in his shape and doing the things that he did to be prepared for this season. But again, as everyone said, like, I worry about the weapons around him. I worry about the offensive line, all of those things when you're a young quarterback.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll keep it in the NFL. We'll talk about those Chargers. Durbin's got the jersey on. Derwin James out. Looks like for the season. They were thinking maybe 8 to 10 weeks, but looks like he's going to be out meniscus and some other things with a knee injury there. How much will this hurt the Chargers? Look, you look at Los Angeles, got a great front. Melvin Ingram, Bosa, and those guys. Linebackers probably the weakest part of the team, probably the worst in the AFC if I have to tell you. And now that secondary going to be a little bit weaker as well. Derwin James, probably the second or third best player on the defense. I think when he's playing at a high level, it makes them a really good defense. I don't see them making the playoffs now. I think he's that important to them on defense. I don't think they're going to score enough offensively, and now defensively, I don't think they're going to be a top 10 type of defense to sort of sneak into the playoffs this year. Your thoughts, guys, real quickly on Derwin James being out.
Well, he's played only 2 years and he's only played in 21 games. So now he's already getting the stigma of being injury prone a little bit. I love him. He's a tremendous player when he's healthy, but he has not been healthy. Now, and then you look at the offenses, you don't expect much from them. They gave up, Melvin Gordon is now in Denver. Eckler is a pretty good tailback, but Tyrod Taylor's their quarterback, and we know who he is. And then the pick that they picked up,
the Bills to the playoffs.
Don't do that.
No, he's terrible. Yeah. He's
whoa.
Come on, dude. They went. Time out. Let's not do that. We don't have enough time. But they went to the playoffs in spite of his play. If you go look it up, he did not play well, and they went in spite of his play. But they also have
games with that Bills team 2 years ago. Really?
Not based on him. Do you look at his numbers?
He won some. He played well in some games. Absolutely.
No, he did not. You better stop it.
Are you watching the same football?
Go ahead, Derwin. I'm not gonna do this.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do this with you, Derwin.
You wait till the group text. I'll send you some facts.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Well, Josh Allen.
The quarterback.
He had numbers like Josh Allen, and Josh Allen took him to the playoffs.
Josh Allen is a much better quarterback and a better talent. Tyrod Taylor, let's not act like he just came into the league. He's had plenty of opportunities to claim a spot. There's a reason why he has bounced around the league. This is his last stop. Anyway, the Chargers have their quarterback of the future sitting on the bench, and he will play sometime this year. He probably won't start, the kid from Oregon, but right now they're going to be hard to score points.
If Justin Herbert was that good, we'd be hearing about him. If he was that good,
Justin Herbert's pretty good.
He's pretty good. And what does that say? That he's behind your boy right now?
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
I hear about Tua. I hear about Burrow. I hear about other quarterbacks. I don't hear anything.
We had no preseason, Larry. Everything's different this year.
Because you always poo-pooed, Cap and Cam and Tyrod. I'm not very big on Justin Herbert because, dude, he's playing at Oregon. Anybody can hit wide open seam routes and things like that. These RPOs that they have at Oregon, there's no defense. You get to the NFL, you got to earn your check. So we'll see about that. We'll see. I think Justin Herbert's a little overrated. But that's another. We got 3 or 4 years to figure that. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Hey Willie, real quick. Derwin James.
Yeah. Again, as Derwin was saying, I'm really worried about him in terms of sort of acquiring that injury-prone moniker. But the other thing about him too is when you look at, if this is a guy that's dealing with injuries and you look at his style of play is conducive to getting injuries. So with that style of play, you have to worry about, okay, if he's playing like this and he's always injured, do we have to tell him to slow down? And that's taken away from who he is, because this guy is great when he's healthy. So does that hurt them as right? No question. Does that hurt them? Absolutely, it hurts them. But I just want Derwin James to get healthy, and certainly, again, as we were talking about injuries last show, I want him to sort of make sure he gets healthy and make sure that the organization saves him from himself. That's for sure.
All right, let's go. Let's literally lightning round. Everything got to be 15 seconds or less. Cam Newton named the starter of the Patriots today. No surprise there. How many games will the Pats win this year? I've got them at 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, Derwin. Oh, I know, Derwin. Go ahead. Tell me 5. Tell me 3, Derwin. Go ahead and say something crazy, Derwin. Say 3 games.
I thought you
didn't. Say
it,
Derwin. Say it. You want to say it? Say it.
I give him 500.
Oh my gosh.
I'm being generous.
Gosh.
I'm being generous. 8-8. I think we talked about this already. The disrespect for Tom Brady. You're going to sit there and tell me that this guy's going to come in there with the same guys that Tom Brady has, and he's going to win just as many games? That's just disrespectful.
Different playbook, dude.
That's
Matt
this.
Castle-
You're
Matt
telling me he's
Castle won
good
11
as
games.
Tom Brady. He's not as
Matt
good as Tom
Castle
Brady.
won 11-5.
This what? How long ago was that?
That was 12 years ago.
You're constantly always
Hey.
going by 10, 12, 5
Because
years
I was
ago.
there and I saw that they won
Come on.
11 games with that team.
It's 2020.
Matt Castle,
It's not.
Matt Castle went 7 years between starting. Hey, Willie, how many games? I'm not going to do it. We got to get out of here.
I think they're 110. I think they're 110.
Okay, fair enough. Kelly, where you at? Cam Newton?
10. I said 10 the same.
Okay, all right. Durbin's got 8 and 8. He wanted to say something silly like 5. I heard you. You said 5.
I'm being generous. I said
Really?
8.
No, don't be generous. Tell us what it is going to be. Say 5, so I can come back and roll the tape.
You know,
again.
with the coaching a little bit, maybe 8 and 8. I'm just, come on.
No, I didn't say maybe. What are they going to win? Say 5. You want to say 5? Say it.
I say 7 and 9.
Oh my
Book it.
gosh, this guy. Okay.
And D, I'm not disrespecting Tom Brady. I think he'll win 11 games. I think they'll go 11-5.
I think both teams will go 11-5 this year. That's exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it's about Tom Brady at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pats released Mohamed Sanu. No surprise here. I heard he's had a terrible camp. That ankle injury, gave up the 2nd-round pick. Your thoughts on the Mohamed Sanu experiment in New England? Started off great first game against Baltimore. Second game had a great game, and then it was nothing after that because he hurt his ankle that same game or the next game we were fielding a punt or something like that. Hey, Willie, real quickly.
For me, I guess I'll say this about the Patriots. One of the things that I like, what you'll see with professional teams, they'll do this a lot when they either draft the player high or they give up a lot of compensation for that player. They will force feed that particular player and try and make it work. I like the fact that for the Patriots, not saying that Mohamed Sanu's not a good player, he just didn't work for them. So I like the fact that they look and say, you know what, didn't work for us. And one of the things that they do with players when it doesn't work for them, they move on quickly. And I have to respect that as an organization because most organizations won't do that. They'll try and force it.
And Kelly, Belichick, I mean, look, he gave up a 2nd-round pick. Belichick does this all the time. He'll have some misses, but no one says a damn thing. You know why, Kelly?
He's Belichick.
9 Super Bowl
He's
appearances.
Belichick. What you gonna say?
Yeah.
I agree. I like the move. You know, you try. You don't want to just keep forcing it. So you let the player go. You let them get healthy. Do it.
Did him a solid, actually.
Yeah. Move on somewhere else. Like I appreciate that. You know, from seeing it on the other side, the business standpoint. So I'm cool with it.
Yes. Your thoughts? Any surprises here, Mohamed Sanu?
No, I'm not surprised. He did him a solid. He did it late in the season. The season starts next week, so he doesn't have a team. So that was kind of late. But I will say one negative about the Patriots, even though they've had all the success, they have never developed a wide receiver through that whole 20 years. Never.
I know.
They never. And this is another example.
Well, you can say Julian Edelman. That's
Yeah,
about
I was gonna say.
Troy
in 20
Brown.
years.
it. They've had a couple of slot receivers, and they brought
Most of their big time guys have been from other
Chad
teams.
Jackson, 2nd-round pick.
Who?
I know. I'm saying Jackson, and then you had Chad Johnson. It was the Jackson kid from Florida. Then they had Chad. They brought. Look, Belichick has a blind spot for receivers because their playbook is so complex. We don't have enough time to get into it. But when you go to non-Super Bowls, no one says a damn thing. What are you going to do? Nitpick?
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
You have Gronk.
He just flashed those. He flashed those 8 rings in your face and say, "Derwin, do you know anybody on earth that can do this?" And Derwin will say, "No, sir." And it's over. It's dropping the mic. So there you go. Speaking of Belichick, commercial Subway. It's classic Belichick. I mean, he's cut the guy's sleeves off. Let's go ahead and roll the tape. I love it. It's cute. It's Belichick. Not a lot to it, but it kind of made me laugh because I'm like, all right, Belichick's doing. The bar is so low at Belichick. We'll take anything, right? Hey, Willie?
Yeah, no, it's true. And it's so weird too, because if you catch him out in outside of football settings, he's actually very funny. And he is so different than the guy that you see on the sideline or the guy that's, sort of putting the poor people that work in the media through mental gymnastics when they're interviewing him. So he's so different than that. And that's part of the reason why he can put them through those mental gymnastics, because he's actually very witty, right? So it's good to see it. It's also ironic too. I guess the thing for me that's ironic is seeing Belichick sort of open up a little bit now that Tom Brady is gone. Like, it's just weird that all of these things are happening now. And he's also being very complimentary of Cam, right? All of those things that he would not do for Tom Brady. It's so interesting to watch it.
Let Kelly get in here. That's it right there. Belichick's
That's
all happy and chummy. I mean, he said he called Cam one of the greatest competitors he's ever seen. This guy's been
like,
coaching since the freaking 70s.
yo, Belichick looks free. He looks free right now. Like he looks like it's over. The reign is over.
Right.
Like
I've been
he's
trying to
coming
tell
out
Crab
of
to
his
get rid of
shell.
him.
Yes, and so
I
you know,
outlasted
yes,
Brady.
the last 2 years, 3 years was
At
super
least.
tumultuous for them.
Yeah.
You know, and it
Yes.
was in the media. So now he's got a guy that he likes, and I think that Cam is going to fit really well into the scheme. I think that he's going to let him be him. I think that he's also he's opening up Belichick as well,
Yes.
showing him that because there's the Patriots way, and if you're not
Right.
with the Patriots way, they get rid of you. But maybe he's learning there's a new Patriots way because you do have to evolve. These kids are young, so you
Sure.
have to evolve
Yeah.
a little bit.
But Belichick respects the work, and Cam shows up early, stays late, and he's about that life on the field. He had him out there. I think they were playing Kurt Franklin the other day.
Did you
It was,
see him stomping?
Yeah.
Did you see him stomping?
Yeah.
that was the other.
I'm with it. I like Belichick. And outside of the field, Belichick is hilarious.
He
And
is.
he's super smart.
He
Super
is.
smart. So
Right.
I enjoy it. I'm with
Right.
it.
Dorman, real quickly, your thoughts, 10 seconds. Belichick, Subway.
Cool commercial. I liked it, cutting up the sleeves. It looked like the dude had a Church's chicken box. So I don't know what he
did.
Yeah.
It was cute. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. Dr. Disrespect, basically saying he's gotten some anxiety. First time he's opened up about being banned from Twitch. Make this real quickly, guys. 10 seconds less. I'm not going to hear about the Crying River. You got a multi-million-dollar deal. Athletes get treated this way. Welcome to the show, Dr. Disrespect. Sorry you have to, go through this. I know it's traumatic. Whatever you did, I don't know what it was. Twitch ban you. Move on, bro. Go to YouTube. Go make some money. Go do something else. Athletes go through this every damn day. I don't want to hear from you. Next, guys. Anybody? Jump in here. That's my true thoughts on it.
Next. It's
Kelly?
not an issue. It's going to still make money.
Players get cut. What is it? Conduct unbecoming. Moving right along.
Right.
Conduct
Right.
detrimental.
You are
That's right.
detrimental and unbecoming. Sorry.
All right. Hey, Willie, your
Happens a
thoughts?
lot. No,
Yeah,
no
but
question.
look, I understand from a human level, right? The anxiety and things of that nature. He knows. His representatives know. Whatever happened, it happened. You're not there. Go fight it out. You've made money. Go continue to make money. 500,000 people watched your own stream on YouTube a few weeks ago. I don't feel bad for you. Just like no one would feel bad for any of us to come on here and say, woe is me. Kelly, you're an Olympian. No one wants to hear it. You're married to an NFL player, a former NFL player. You got a beautiful family, great home. Nobody wants to hear it. Dorman, you're a great guy. You're a TV sportscaster, great family, great faith, a community man. No one wants to hear it. A. Williams, you work for Nike. You're a broadcaster. You got a great wife. You were a scout with the Suns. You got a big old championship ring with the Red Sox. No. Larry Ridley, you're on TV. You got all this other stuff. You got great kids. You drive home. No one wants to hear it. Kevin Mamuzette, you got a great family. You run and compete forever. You're doing all this stuff. You're making money doing sports, esports. No one wants to hear it. See how I just made that simple? No one cares. No one cares. So we definitely don't care. C4 on Black News Channel this weekend, guys, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, Charter, Spectrum as well, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. Madden, NFL, and NBA 2K. It's NBA 2K this weekend. Phoenix Extra Life, Phoenix Children's Hospital. Myself, Renee Montgomery on the call. A couple of $1,000s on the line. Great games. Some great color there. Renee was very good. We filmed it live at Access Replay. Shout out to them down in Atlanta, the Gaming Center, and those good folks. And my guy, and Allie and all those guys down there. Black News Channel this weekend. Guys, Madden code right now. First caller that gets in right now, 877-853-5247. esportsXTRA is the meeting ID. First person that calls in gets this Madden code. You can select your console, PS4 or Xbox. First call. Great show, guys, by the way.
D, call in.
You're not eligible.
They don't give me no love, hey Willie. They act like I don't play Madden.
It's like being at a radio station. It's nepotism. You got family that you work for. You can't win the prize.
We got nepotism all around this country.
Right.
Have you seen the White House? Come on, bro.
Okay.
You're right about that.
I think we got a call.
We got a caller. Let's go to the phone lines here. Live on esportsXTRA. Who are we speaking with here? You're live on the air, caller. What's up? Hello.
Oh.
Going once. What's up, buddy? Who we're speaking with? Real quickly. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, who is this?
Hey, Larry.
Yes, who are we speaking with? Who is this? Jason who?
Jason Javon.
Jason Javon. What's up, Jason? Well, you just want a Madden code, brother. You want PS4 or Xbox?
PS4 works for me. Great show today. I enjoyed watching.
Thank you, man. So you want a PS4.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Where are you calling from?
I'm from California, Sacramento.
Sacramento. Sacktown, home of the Cowbells. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it, man. Hit me on Twitter, DM me now, okay? And we'll get you your code, and I'll get it to you tonight. PS4, man. Enjoy. Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you for watching. And we're on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays right here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Jason, congratulations.
Congrats.
He is the winner of the PS4, Madden 21 Xbox
Jealous.
One. Everywhere. Well, yeah, I guess. I got to get out of here. I got to go to work. Thank you, guys. Kevin Mamuzette pushing all the right buttons. Hey, Willie down there in the DFW. We got Kelly not too far away down in Houston, H-Town. D-Dub still with that fountain of youth, but he's got something against Cam and the Patriots.
Haters.
We're not going to let you get away with this, D-Dubs, man. You better stop that,
The
man.
football play on the field will speak for itself.
All right, go ahead, guys. So you want to go ahead and throw them up? The A's, man. For
Hey.
shout out to Snook, Diddy, right? Frida Grace,
Hey.
Renee, and KC Beauty. If you need your makeup, get KC Beauty down there in the A. Yeah, we're out of here. Bye.